Yo, Wagwan. Hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Neutron 3 from Izotope. I use it on FL Studio, but you can use it in pretty much any DAW as far as I know. So this video should give you some insight into what it's for, what it's not for, what it's good at, what it's not good at, and whether you should pick it up. So stay tuned. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carter from jaycarterray.com, teaching you how to be better at music, YouTube marketing, and online business. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that's you, this is the place to be. Now, I haven't done a software review in a pretty long time, but the way I enjoy doing reviews these days is what we're going to do is we're going to go through the product page, because this is what the company wants you to know about. This is the selling points that the company is giving you, and we're gonna go through. We're gonna say, which ones are true, which ones are applicable to you, which ones work out how they're talking about, like which ones are good, which ones are useless features, which ones are bad, and all that sort of stuff, and how I've been using the plugins to date. I'll show you like my FL Studio setup and how I've been using Neutron and all that sort of stuff. So I should have actually brought in my song instead of a beat, but I've already got a beat loaded up. That'll probably be the best to show you how I've been using that. So let's get into it. Neutron 3, the modern way to mix. I'm a big fan of Izotope's plugins, so I am a bit biased. They did send me a press code for Izotope Neutron 3, but I only do honest reviews. We don't BS around here. So we're gonna go through the overview, then I guess we'll go through the features as well. I didn't even see that was a thing before. Oh no, we're not gonna go through that. That's long. that's the pricing stuff. That stuff we'll get to at the end. Let's put that over there. So basically, like, the main selling point of Neutron 3 to me at first was the mix assistant. It's all about, automating the process of mixing, enhancing the track, and mixing your song and all that sort of stuff. Now, in my experience, it hasn't worked how I've wanted it to. I don't know if that's just for trap songs or whatnot, but I would set my kick as the featured instrument and all that sort of stuff. I'll show you how Neutron works. I might as well bring it up in the background, like if we're going to be talking about it. Might as well bring it up so it can defend itself. So here's Neutron. The way you generally set it up is you'd apply this plugin called Relay to your channel tracks. Let's stop muting everything, and then basically these channel tracks are then sent to the mix assistant. Now, I believe you're not supposed to use Neutron on your full track. I don't know, but the results that I've got from using Neutron on the full track haven't worked in my favor, so I just don't do it. Like, I just wait until the master track to add those sorts of effects. So I don't know what this automatic sculptor thing is and how you would get that to work out. Maybe it's automatically sculpting things and I don't even know about it. That could be a possibility. But I just added an equalizer to this track before. Here it is. Use track enhance within Mix Assistant to create a custom starting place based on your audio. So here's the track enhance. Okay. All right, fair enough. I probably shouldn't. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna skip this part in the review because I've already started it, but I'm definitely gonna play around with track enhance before putting out this full review, because that's unfair. I didn't even know how to get to that, but I just wanted to share my experience with the actual thing. In terms of mix assistant and this automatic leveling, it just never lets the kick hit as hard as I want it to. So I always have to boost that up, and then generally I just go in and twiddle stuff around. But now I've just created my own template that just starts all beats generally where they end up with my mixing, so it gives me a starting point and I don't have to use Mix Assistant every time. Mix Assistant's okay. I think it would be really good if you're making like pop songs or maybe rap songs that are like boom bap and all that sort of stuff, but it just didn't work for my songs personally, and it was all right starting point, but the starting point that I've created for myself just works better, and the workflow is much better than going through Mix Assistant every time and then having to boost things up and turn things down and all that sort of stuff. So that's my experience with Mix Assistant. You may have a much better experience, but the sculpture module has become the star of Neutron for me personally. Now what this is, this is a plugin that you can use. I think you can use it across your track altogether, but I just use it on like single tracks. So I might use it on a clap to sculpt this clap to the sound that I want to get it to. So let's single out this clap and let's listen back to it. And then let's turn off Sculptor and listen to how that clap sounds. It's got less weight to it. When we sculpt it, it's warmer. You see that? It hits harder. Now, this is something that you can apply to more than just a clap. You can apply it to pretty much any instrument that you have, and they've got a bunch of different presets and a bunch of different ways that you can use this. But what I did was I just used it to make this clap sound, or this snare sound, meatier, and they've got a bunch of great presets which Izotope are known for. They got great presets in their plugins, which I believe is the main selling point of their plugins, is to basically just make your workflow much smoother, much quicker through the use of these presets, and then you just tweaking from there, which it seems to be what they're going for with like the Mix Assistant and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'd say Sculptor is amazing, man. You can use this with a bunch of different instruments, and they've got, you know, these presets, and then when you go into the preset you can then pick different instruments that you want to apply it to. So for example, if I wanted a really beefy vocal, I could pick that preset and then go to vocals. But if I wanted to remove the resonance from some keys because some of the frequencies were moving a bit mad, I could go to tame resonances and then bring that down through that. And it's basically like an automatic EQ and automatic compressor, so that you don't have to add the EQ and add the compressor and go through the resonances and find the right places and all that sort of stuff and make the right cuts and that. So if you've got limited mixing knowledge, this is gonna save you a lot of time and make things much easier. So yeah, I really like the sculpture module, and that's basically what I've been using Neutron for. I've been using it for the sculpture module, and let's not forget the visual mixer, because I haven't really talked about the visual mixer. We've had it here, we've had it up, but I haven't really talked about how useful the visual mixer is. Now, the visual mixer, what is it? It's just the representation of your mixer in a visual space. So instead of panning things left and right by moving these knobs, what you do is you add that relay track that I showed you to the end of all your track sends and or your track inserts, and what that does is it sends the information through to the visual mixer and allows you to mix everything from here. And now if I want something to sound like it's on the left, I just move it over the left, and now with these visuals it's much easier for me to kind of imagine where everything is in the mix and think about how I want it to sound and where I want things to be. And I can move the volume down, you can move the volume up, you can move things to the left, to the right, and all that sort of stuff. Now, in terms of what these dBs actually mean, this isn't actually related to the master track. I think this is relative to something. I remember reading that at some point, but honestly I just use my ears in it. I generally want the bulk of my instrumentals to be quite low so that the voice can have that power and shine over it. I don't want a lot of instruments taking up a lot of space, so I generally just mix that way. So that's the visual mix. I really like it. It just makes everything visual. Like if you're a visual learner and you're the visual type person, then it make your workflow easier. I like the way that a lot of plugins are moving towards this visual workspace so that you can see what's going on when you make a change, basically. And I think that's really, really important, and that's something that should continue going forward. But yeah, there's loads of things to play with inside the sculptor. You can use it for a variety of different purposes. You can use the whole Neutron plugin and apply it to something. Let's say we want to do something to, I don't know what we've got here, because we haven't got any vocals in here. It would have been nice to work on some vocals, but let's just go for the snare again, or the clap. What we could do is, instead of adding Neutron 3 Sculptor, we could just add the whole Neutron plugin. But it's nice that they break it up so that you're not using a bunch of CPU for the whole plugin, and you can use the specific things that you actually want. Did I show you the equalizer and masking and all that sort of stuff? I'm not sure if I showed you that, but that is definitely something that we need to talk about. Yeah, I definitely didn't show you that. So let me show you Neutron 3 real quick. Now, Neutron 3 basically houses everything that you need from the plugin, and you can just apply Neutron 3 to your track and get a specific sound from these presets. So if you wanted to get your kick to sound different, like a punchy 808 kick or whatever, you can go, actually, I want to hear what this sounds like. Because I only really use Neutron for the sculptor right about now. I haven't explored it deeply in terms of flinging Neutron on individual mix tracks, because I've already got my presets that I move with. But I am happy to explore, and I don't like to just add a bunch of CPU to my like, well, I mean, it's just long, innit? Like, I try to keep things as smooth as possible, so I've really just been using like the Neutron EQ and stuff like that. So let's see what this sounds like if we add this. Okay, I definitely need to detach this. Yeah, nice. We're still on the... So that's that. Let's bypass it. Wow, that really does make a difference still. I gotta add Neutron to all my kicks now. Yo, let's make it slap, cuz. Yo, let's listen to this. Oh my god. It's making my kick all violent, cuz. So yeah, you can just quickly slap on a preset, move around, you know, a few things, and get things how you want it to. I didn't realize that the Neutron thing could actually be applied to single tracks like that. I thought that the whole Neutron thing was supposed to be added to my master track, but really the way you really want to use Neutron is you don't want to use it with VSTs in the background. Like, your CPU is going to go wild. You want to bounce all this out to stems and then bring it into a fresh project, and then you can like place your Neutron across your tracks and maybe only use Neutron to mix everything. But even multiple instances of Neutron across your tracks, it adds up, man. It definitely does, and your tracks start moving like super slow and all that sort of stuff. So you might want to put something on, have the effect, bounce it out, and then put it on something else. That'll probably be like a better workflow in terms of CPU load. But damn, I just realized how better Neutron was than I thought it was starting this review. And I already thought it was good, but wow, I didn't even know about the fact that you could fling Neutron on a whole track and have it just deal with basically all the aspects of dealing with this kit. I think it did some EQ, and let me see what EQ it done. Nah, that's not the EQ I would have done, but fair enough. I'd still need to do my EQ prior to that to cut out some of the high end and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that was amazing. Damn. So let's quickly go into the Neutron EQ stuff, which I think will be very, very helpful for a lot of people. Now, the way the Neutron EQ works is you can place multiple instances of this plugin on different tracks and they can talk to each other. For example, if I place this on my kick track and then I placed it on an 808 track, which I've actually already have done because I just made a video on how to mix your kicks and 808s, what will happen is you'll be able to see the kick track and the 808 come through. Okay, this EQ isn't on, so that's not coming through. You got to turn it on. So here, the gray is the EQ for the kick, the orange is the EQ for the 808, and if we turn up the sensitivity, we can now see exactly what frequencies are being masked by these instruments. Like where is it getting muddy? Where are these two instruments clashing? And you can do this like across your whole mix. And another great thing that you can do that basically saves you a lot of time is you can turn on this inverse link button here, and what you can do is you can make a change in one of these instruments. Like if you're looking at two instruments, you can make a dip here and that will automatically make a rise in the other instrument. But if we was like, okay, that rise is a bit too prominent, we could then go to the 808s and then bring it down. So we don't even have to switch between this EQ and then that EQ and then continually go through that, because we flung the Neutron EQ across multiple tracks. We can just control everything from here, which is what Neutron's all about, man. It's all about making your mixing workflow a whole lot quicker. So let's go through this. New interactive visuals. The visuals are nice. I'm not gonna lie, I do like the visuals. Use the included visual mixer plugin to adjust the gain, pan and width of any Neutron or relay in your session. Yeah, you can also affect the actual Neutron things, which I haven't done, but I've affected like the tracks, like, because when you go into the visual mixer, it's weird that they've allowed this stuff to show up. So I know that this is a feature that you're supposed to dig deeper into. There's probably some weird kind of creative stuff that you can do with it here, but I can like move the sculptor effects and that just seems weird to me. I haven't tried it out. Like, I know that it's possible, but I've never actually done it and seen what actually happens, because it just doesn't make sense to me why you do that, but maybe I'll try it out. So they give you options like that. EQ of masking meter is what I just showed you. Neutron on more tracks. I really don't know how much Neutron you can use on each track, because I tried to not put too many effects on each track, because eventually it starts to get wild, especially, you know, because I'm mastering the same session when I'm making beats. So maybe if I move that to another session, it'll be less problematic. But here's the different pricing structures for Neutron. You can get the whole Neutron and Ozone 8, which I will be doing a review for. I definitely recommend Ozone 8. Like, spoilers for the review, Ozone is like my favorite thing. I love Ozone. I love the texture it gives me and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, Neutron's really, really great for mixing and speeding up your work process and just getting stuff to sound like how you want it to sound without taking ages fiddling knobs and all that sort of stuff, because the geniuses at Izotope, who put their heart and sweat and tears and all that sort of stuff into making these plugins, they create a bunch of presets that you can go to and actually create a starting point and then edit from there. So it speeds up your workflow immensely. So there are two bundles. Like, you can get the bundles with Ozone and Neutron, or you can go get Neutron by itself, and that's $399. I mean, it depends where you are at, like, in your in your musical career to what price you want to go for, the 129 Neutron Elements is, you know, gonna be very affordable. But if you want everything, which you probably do, you probably want to save up and get the whole thing. But if you do get Neutron Elements, I'm sure you're able to upgrade to the standard one and then the advanced one and get everything basically. But you know, if you want to speed up your workflow, and that's what you're doing, because time is money, you're trying to save time, it's worth the money, because then you don't have to spend the time going through, you know, twiddling all these knobs and all that sort of stuff. So you can also get a free demo on this page. I'll link it in the description so you can get the free demo, try it out, see if you like it, see if you, okay, so they're not showing you that you can move around the sculpture and all that sort of stuff, but you can, and I don't know why you would. Oh, it's showing that if you use the thing neck type, it automatically sends information there. I definitely want to try it necktie. That is something that I'm also very, very excited to actually use on my tracks and see what kind of effect it gives me, because I just love Izotope plugins, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it seems like they know what they're doing. Like they make these plugins for mixing and mastering, and it makes mixing and mastering easier basically. So it's saying download the trial and keep Visual Mixer. Oh, so you can just get the Visual Mixer for free. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice still. So if you want a Visual Mixer for free, you can just download the free demo and get the Visual Mixer for free. Try it out, see if it makes your mixing, you know, your mixing process a little bit better. Honestly, I might go back to the knobs because I do like, you know, I'm gonna use a mix of both of them, to be honest. Like if I really want to turn something down, I might just turn it down on the knobs instead of going through the whole Visual Mixer and all that sort of stuff. But is it worth the price? Yeah, I do think it's worth the price, because as I said, it's going to save you a bunch of time. Is it good at what it says it does? Yes, for the most part, but the Mix Assistant didn't personally work for me. So if you're looking for something to just create a starting mixing point for yourself, it's okay. But once you get it to where you really want it to be, just save a template and then use that again and again and again if you're making like the same style of music. And you can take like snapshots, and let me show you how that works. Basically, if you create a mix, you can press this plus button, so that if you move something, if I was like, oh, let's move this sculpt over here, let's see what kind of wild experimental stuff we could do, I could then save that and then go back to the mix that we had before. So you can also just save these as presets. So you can save a preset as, and then, you know, save it as, okay, trap mix, and then bring this into all your trap mixes and just add that on there. And then maybe you've got 3 different types that you usually go for, and then you've got those starting points, so you don't have to go through Mix Assistant again and again and again. So that's what I would suggest. But all the sculptor things, the whole Neutron 3 that I just realized should be placed on all, like, small mixer tracks, and I will definitely try that out a little bit and come back and add some more to this review. But yeah, even without doing that and adding more to this review, I still think it's worth it. But I do want to check out this track Enhance and see what that actually does for me, and I guess I'll add to Hair, and I'll finish this when the review is done. But I will do the outro because, you know, I already told you, yo, get the plugin, bruv, it works. So welcome to the future. So I have now finally tested out track Enhance, and basically what it does is it creates a preset for you for whatever track you put it on. So I've put it on a kick here, and it's basically just made my kick warmer and also punchy. So in here, when you go to Mix Assistant, you can go to, well, let's start from getting Neutron on the track. Let's start from step 1 in it. So first of all, you put Neutron 3 on the track. Then from there, you could just pick a preset, or if you want to start from like a certain starting point and then build your own preset, you could go to track Enhance. And then when you get here, you can choose what kind of instrument it's for. So we choose kick, chose kick, and then you can choose the style. Now I wanted a up front type of kick with high intensity, and let me show you the two differences here. Let's pick somewhere on the track, maybe where the kick is still here. So this is like the chorus, and let's show you the results. First, let's bypass it, and then we'll bring it back, and I'll show you what Neutron decided to do with this kick. And then let's bring it in. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the kick with the music in the background, so we'll solo it after so you can hear exactly what's happening. So let's solo it. Like, it's changed the kick, it's made it a different kick. Now I did bring down the makeup because it was way too loud, but I could bring it down a little less than that and let it retain some of that punchiness. And then I could just bring it down through here, because I want it to still stay where it was before, which I think was about 9. Yeah. But let's check the difference. So it's basically just taken out a lot of the mid-range, I believe. Yeah, so big dip in the mid-range, but also a boost. So I don't know what this is. It seems like every time it hits, it dips there. But it's giving us an interesting sounding kick. And I kind of like the ambiance it creates, especially with the 808. And then if I was to fling on my Ozone 8 master track, which the Ozone 8 automatic mastering is great. I just want to put that out there because I tried that out, and that is amazing. But let's see what it sounds like super loud or mastered. Like, it sounds cleaner to me, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't have even thought of taking out that mid-range before, because I just thought that was the kick and that was how it was supposed to sound, but because I wanted that beefiness and I thought that added more thump to it, but now it just sounds way better. So just letting Neutron teach you things like this is very valuable. But of course, what I could do now is just save this kick with Neutron on it, and now I've got a completely new kick and continue doing that. Or you could fling on a bunch of different presets. If you don't want to use Mix Assistant, you could just go to the kick presets and go through there. But after you've used all of those, maybe you start using Mix Assistant and start finding different things. So the Neutron 3 track enhancer is basically like automated preset for your specific sound, because it obviously not enhances, it analyzes the sound that you're giving it depending on what you're feeding it and what you're telling it that it probably is. You can also make it detect, like auto detect, but I suggest you actually tell it what instrument it is so it can do its job better. and then it will give you like a base starting point and you can add more stuff on top of that. But generally, you know, you might just leave it as it is, like we did here. And yeah, I think it is a good addition to the Neutron 3 suite, although, you know, I've already said everything else is what I'm mainly using in there. Am I going to use track enhance? Maybe, but I think I'm more likely just going to use the presets, because that just makes a lot of sense to me, and it seems quicker than playing through my track and hearing the different instruments and all that sort of stuff. But I'm also creating my tracks with samples at the moment, which I'll leave a link down below if you want to purchase my samples, as well as a link to my FL Studio templates, which do come with like the way I mix all my tracks with like my EQ and all that sort of stuff set correctly. So if you want to speed up your mixing, definitely grab that template and it will help you give you a starting point. And it also has Neutron 3 is it a Neutron 3 template? It's got my Neutron 3 sculptor on the clap, and basically the rest is like mainly EQing, and then we got ozone on the master. But you can get the stock only plugins template in the description as well if you want to do that. But basically I've been using like samples, so when I bring the samples into the track, I don't really have much control over that. Now I could bring the stems in there and then fling Neutron on those different things, so if I want to do that, I'll do that, but I doubt I'm going to be using track enhance a lot, because I'll most likely just use a preset and finagle the presets. But I'll try it out here and there and see what kind of results that gets me, because it did just get me like a completely new kick, and I quite like that. So I need to remember to save this kick, otherwise I'll definitely forget it and I definitely won't ever use it again. So yeah, let me bring you back to the video so we can end up. Let me know what other videos you would like me to make. Comment down below with other plugins that you want me to review, that sort of stuff. If you want some free beats, link is in the description, or go to jcarterray.com/free beats. Yeah, I will be coming out with like loop kits and sound kits and all that sort of stuff soon, so if you're interested in that, stick around. Links will be in the description. But I'll see you in the next video, where you'll learn more about music, YouTube marketing, or online business. Peace out.